most of mine are I keep mine, I've been journaling to my children who are now 17 and a half, 16, and 4.5 years old. Are my
Okay.
children. So I've been journaling for almost 17 years to my
Okay.
kids. And I
Okay.
started, much like you had mentioned, in just a simple Word document. And
Right.
then prior to the, uh, or after the Word document, I had moved into Evernote when Evernote came out and
Oh,
started.
right. Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, when we created Legacy of Love, I transferred everything from the Word doc and Evernote into Legacy of Love. So now I have years and years and years worth of things in
Right.
there. But
That's what I'm trying to do.
I'll show you a few things. So here, like and I'm pointing it out with my mouse. Of course, I can't click on
Okay.
my mouse, but
Sure.
this one is a recent entry, say my happy birthday. And as it shows you here, it was the date, that was my birthday, and I was 49 years old. And I just wrote a quick note. Well, I'll show you right down here. So down here, this is to whom it is to. This was to Grace,
Okay.
Knox, and Kai, my three children, and this is
Okay.
their ages at the date of the entry. That's one of the
Okay.
things I love about this program, and it was designed to do, is that you can click on any entry and see how old your children were or your grandchildren when you wrote this entry. And they can look back, and your great 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 grandchildren can
Sure.
look back one day and see who it was to. So I
May
just,
I ask a question right here?
of course.
I noticed that you've got two pictures. I was thinking that I tried to load two pictures and it told me I could only do one.
Yep. So on the free version, the basic free version of the app
Okay.
allows for unlimited entries, but one photo max per entry.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so on the premium and family versions, it allows up to 30 photos per entry, and it
Okay.
allows you to add video and audio.
Okay.
And I will show you a couple other cool things that those do as well. But so this one, yeah, I did. I just wrote a quick note to my kids about what made it an awesome day. I went for a run with my dog and my little guy, included a note. And then my daughter wrote me this beautiful birthday card, and I snapped a picture of the card and included
Oh,
it so
sure.
that she could one day reread what she had written to me. And
Sure.
made this to each of my children. So there's one
Sure.
example of an entry. Another, oh, this is great. So my 16-year-old and I just took a trip to Colorado recently this summer, and I have utilized the app to document almost every single family vacation we've been on in the past
Perfect.
17 years. And so here I did this is just from me to my son, and I detailed in great detail everything about the road trip right here. And there's pictures on all of it. I just went, and this is just a long form story about, and I broke it down into days. So that was the
Right.
trip up there. And then I started writing, okay, here's what we did on Saturday. Here's where we
Sure.
ate. Here's what we did. We drove up, and then I include lots of pictures of the day that we kind of did and went through. And it's kind of neat because it really just highlights and
It
really
is.
adds a lot of texture into the story. And then I love some of the little stories. Like I told them a story about, yeah, we got back and we played Monopoly. My son is really competitive. And so it was my son and then my business partner who had a condo that we stayed with up there. And Jason, my business partner, loved playing Monopoly with Knox because Knox was so
Oh,
aggressive. And so I love writing the story on this so that Knox will one day read and reread this about
yes.
the evening we had and remember all those stories. And then again, I just continue. Well, we went fly fishing that day. It was
Awesome.
awesome. And our first time to ever go fly fishing. And so I've got pictures of the trip
Good.
and just detail. I love it because this allows for the narrative in the storytelling to be highlighted along with photos and video. So I added, in this case, I put a
Oh,
video in
okay.
here. And this is Knox, my son, actually kind of casting out his fly rod here. And it's so peaceful out there. And I just, you know, it took a few minutes, or not a few minutes, probably about 30 seconds with the video here. He's kind of working his line right there, casting it out. I just thought that was kind of a neat little video to include in it. So
Yes, yes.
anyway, and then this just kind of, the example just goes on and tells the stories. You can include up to 30 photos, and I think I have 30 photos in this particular entry
Oh,
right here.
sure, sure. That
And
one is at Salt Lake Trail. Where was it that you were at?
we were up in Copper Mountain, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Is where
Because
we
that
were.
looks like where I was just at for the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, so we went up. We were at the Continental Divide, and it actually snowed. This was just a month ago, and it snowed 4 inches one night up there, and then we went on a big hike. And so, anyway, just one example of lots of multimedia and everything right here. And I'll show you. I end every single entry with the words "I love you with all my heart." And so, for all of my children, when they read these entries and these hundreds of entries that I will have written to them over the years, with every entry they're going to read, "I love you with all my heart," right here. Oh, and then so you can tag the entries. So I've used the travel tag and father son tag right here, and you can also give it a geo code right here, which I did, and from where I wrote this in Colorado. So
and so they have access to see their piece.
They don't today. My intention all along is that I will give this to my children as their high school graduation present.
Oh, okay.
They'll get 18 years of your life through my eyes is what they'll get as a high school graduation present. And then to reality is that I will continue writing to them and to my grandchildren for my entire life.
Right.
And when I pass, they'll kind of get all the remaining entries there. It'll be the rest of the story, and that's something I hope that can go for many, many generations, and generations can appreciate it.
Right.
And then, so like you'll see a whole lot of entries here. I did a 30-day journal challenge with a group, and so I wrote just a lot of entries. I wrote, here's one that was kind of interesting. I wrote just about music that had influenced my life, and so these were 10 like albums that were highly influential in my life. And so just a little story like that. So here there's a milestone entry. This M is for milestones. And for a milestone entry, milestone is just a special tag is what it is. It tags an event as a milestone so that you can then see, like this was a milestone. It was my son's 16th birthday, right? So we did a drive-by parade. I arranged for a bunch of fancy cars to come out, and so that he's a 16-year-old boy. He's really into cars, and so we brought some fancy cars out. So that,
how cool!
Yeah, so that he could have access to them, and then I kind of recorded, the whole day and the event, what we did, all that, and I tagged it as a milestone. But to show you an example of milestones, I'm going to go. So, this right here that I clicked on. This is a filter feature right here. This is search and filter. So I'm going to go filter by people. I'm going to filter just to my son Kai, who's 4 years old, and then apply that filter. And so, yeah. So now when we go look at entries, the miles, actually, that's just, this is interesting because now it's real live time. I'm noticing that the filter is not just filtering in milestone. It is filtering in all entries here.
Sure, I see that.
But in the milestones, it's showing all right there. But so now in the filter, I can look at just those entries that Kai has been a part of right here. So,
okay.
And so now I'll go clear and clear all right there. So then, so another thing I wanted to show you was, scroll through and find this. There's right here, this one, sweet voicemail. Okay. So like some days there are just rough rough days. And this particular day was one of those days where life was challenging, business was challenging, everything was challenging. And then my daughter called and left me just this just kind, sweet, checking in on you voicemail.
Aw.
And that thing, it made my day. It warmed my heart. And so I saved the voicemail.
Hi, Dad. It's Grace. I'm on my way to school. I just wanted to call you and tell you to have a good day. I'll see you tonight. Love you.
Just a little sweet thing right there, right? But it's her voice saved in here forever. Her voice from when she was, 16 years old, saved in here forever. And so,
nice.
Those kind of things are available right here. One of the really, really cool features that's on our premium products here are like a special view here that allows you to view like entries or milestones or whatever on a timeline view. And this is one of the really, really cool things. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then here's what's cool too. So you can click in on any of these little entries and it gives you a quick little just synopsis card right here. And if you wanted to go, you can click on this button and it will bring you into the actual full the full journal entry that you see everything that was in there. So this was Kai at 3 years old. This was his 3-year checkup. And so if I wanted to go and look back and say, wow, how old were, here's what one thing, like how old was Kai when he was potty training? Like, cause I can't remember my older kids, right? How old were they? So I can go click on here, go into details, and I can kind of go look and say, okay, he was 1 year old right there when he was potty training right there. So it's
I like that feature.
Oh, it's such a neat feature that you can kind of go look and just see all of your entries and really it's the story of your family's life on a timeline version right here. Like here was look at here. This was Kai's first day into the world right here. He's actually born December 28th. And I wrote about his birth in this entry right here. And
awesome.
So kind of, again, you forget all the details, the little details. So I'm telling him the time he was born, how much he weighed, how big he was, and, all of the pictures and how excited everyone was to see him and kind of a neat
what a blessing. What a neat way to save those memories. Now, what about journaling, like your deepest and most inner thoughts on things, like when the riots were taking place and things like that? Do you have those like in a different category, or do you have those milestones, or just
so those I save as tags, right? And so let's go look through some things here. So here, like coronavirus in the media, right? I wrote that because I'm like, okay, there's all this stuff happening. There's so much fear and negativity and stuff. And I'm like, is it good? Is it bad? So I wrote a little story about, hey, here's what's happening in the media. And then I just wrote my thoughts. And then, so I have several tags where I've done COVID-19 as a tag right there. So that I could go then search by tag and see any of those entries that had that particular tag in there.
Got it.
So yeah, you can save anything with a particular tag and just filter by those tags and see those. But what this naturally does is puts everything in a chronological timeline order. Of course, you can search if you want to search by title, by tag, by different things. You can search and find things by
when you do this search, it's going to search by title or tag, not necessarily the words that you typed in the entry.
You can search by a variety of things and search. So, like I know I see camping right there. So what if I typed camping? Let's just see what that. And so there's Kai's first camping trip right there. And then if I tripped vacation, let's see. There you go. So any entries it's going back that I've got the word vacation in, it's kind of searching by vacation right there and stuff. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and you see this one's back in 2005, right? So
Okay.
this is a long one.
And then, like, when you brought all of your past journaling into this Legacy of Love app, so that's what I'm trying to do. And I was having trouble with trying to decide how to tag it. And then on the event date, is it the event date that I would put the actual date that I actually journaled it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you would make the date of the date of your original journal entry. And
Okay.
in the real, like in our system, the purpose for doing that is that, in particular, if that journal is made to a specific person or persons, like if you added that to your children or grandchildren, that event date would do two things. It would, as long as you have your birth date and your family members' birth dates in the system, that event date will then will then produce in the entry, just like it did in here, how old I was and how old they were at the time of entry. That's the purpose behind, at least within our system, on how that's done, so that it can put context around where you were and where they were in their lives when you're making these entries.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I certainly can see the value in upgrading, to the family upgrade. That's for sure. I just wasn't, without being able to see what it looked like.
Oh, sure.
I wasn't sure that it was going to be a value just yet.
Well, and say this. So this was designed, and we're still in startup mode right now. We're fairly new. We've got about 2,500 members so far, and total members that are using the program, and we're growing every day, which is beauty. But this was designed so that for someone that's being super cost conscious, you could do a lot with this. It's just one photo per entry, but you can tell the story of your life with one photo per entry,
of course,
and never have a cost. And then for those that upgrade, it will help to fund the overall success of this program, so that those that choose to remain on the free program can, and that those that choose to upgrade get all the benefits of it, and it allows us to continue on.
Is the upgrade special already over? I haven't looked lately.
That is a great question. I think there was one that was running for 4th of July weekend, but I'll send you a code that you can use that will give you a discount as well. So we'll get
because I do.
Yeah, we'll send one to you.
I will want. Yes, I do want to upgrade now that I see it.
So
I had been using a journal app around January of 2019. I can't remember what it's called, but those are stored on my phone and on my computer, kind of like in a. Oh, I think I just answered my own question. They're more of a photograph screenshot from that app. Yep. But if they're loaded on my computer or on my phone, I can just load them with my phone app to the program. But that's where I discovered that I could only do one per entry, because there's about 3 months worth.
Yep.
And I was going to put several in one entry, and I went, I guess that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So that would be.
Well, now it will. You can when you upgrade, you put up to 30 per entry.
Okay. Great. Okay.
It's pretty handy. And is there anything else I wanted to kind of show you? I guess, let me go into, so up here in the app, the little hamburger button right there. So this is where it brings you into, just show you a couple of things. This is your kind of profile area, and this tells you what plan you're on right now. And it'll either say basic, premium, or family right there.
Okay.
I can click on my picture to go into my profile. It's just my name, birth date, and stuff right there. Okay. And then this is where I would add family members. So I have my daughter, 2 sons, myself, my wife, and there's my dog, right? I added my dog as not that I'm making any, but I added her as an example right there. The reason I have myself in here is just if someone wanted to use the journaling process just for their own kind of cathartic process of, hey, I just want to journal and write about something for myself, right? And I want to, then you can, that's why I just added, you can journal just straight to yourself right there. And
That's
it's
what
not
I've
something
done.
that would necessarily be given to your family, or you could print all journal, like eventually in the very near term roadmap, when I'm saying that I expect by the end of this year, 2020, we should have some type of program process worked out where you can export your journal entries into a book format. So,
oh my gosh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah. And so you could do it like year by year. You could do all, I guess, depending on how many entries you had and how many photos and all that stuff. But we are for sure going to have that done by 1 year from now, but ideally it would be towards the end of this year. And when I say for sure by 1 year from now, because my daughter graduates high school in May of next year, and I am going to be giving her all of these in both digital format and in a book format.
Oh,
that
awesome.
will be my gift to her.
That would be very nice.
Yeah. So that's on the near-term roadmap as well.
So if I wanted to, like, for instance, I come from a family of 8 siblings. My twin sister and I are the youngest, but I lost 3 siblings in 3 years. That was pretty hard for us, but I wanted to do like, I want to journal about each one of those siblings that are gone, so that my granddaughter that's now 4 knows just how much she meant to them, their little quirks, their little sayings, the things that we, would I probably add their name even though they're not here? Because
well, not necessarily, because adding their name would be journaling to the way this is designed. It'd be journaling to them. And so I would add their name as a tag is what I would do. I would add, I'd add their name. And anytime you talk about your particular sibling, I would add, and you can have multiple tags in an entry. And so if you talk about especially a deceased sibling, I would add their name as a tag, and that way you could easily go back and look at all of your entries that you had referenced that particular sibling.
Awesome.
So,
well, I really like this. I appreciate you taking the time.
Hopefully that gives you some good, and look, I've written about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, this is designed to be very private. I share mine with people so that people can kind of see, but it's I write about the struggles that I've had with my children, with myself, with my wife, and
and that's what I want to do as well. Because let me shut my phone off here. That's what I want to do as well, so that, because as I do family history, it's one thing to have black and white birth dates and things like that, but you really don't understand who they were and what they felt about the struggles and the Dust Bowl and did they get as scared and as we are with COVID-19, only with a different situation, I mean, and excuse me, and I know that a lot of ancestors journaled, but it's probably been passed down to someone on paper somewhere. But in this day and age, we have this great app, things like this. The app I used before, I just cannot remember what it was called because I quit using it, but it was not as user-friendly as this. That's for sure. It was a struggle to get. I mean, it was on the PC based as well as the phone, but and it synced up, but it was just words.
Well, I hope this is user friendly. It is our goal to continue to improve and make it better and better.
It is very.
Thank you, and I appreciate your support. And if there's things that aren't working, if there are, understand it's technology, so there will always be some nuances and things that aren't working the way we want. Like I just pointed out, the milestone feature, the filter is not filtering the way I want it to filter right now. But we'll fix all of these things as we go on, and certainly we'll eventually rebuild the entire web app to make it even more streamlined and user friendly. But look, I so appreciate you. I appreciate your very kind email to me, and
Oh, of
we're
course.
really honored to have you as a subscriber of ours. So I hope this was helpful, and
Very helpful.
and if there's ever anything I can do, you've got my email, shoot me an email. Let me know what we can do to improve the program, or if there's if you've got ideas for future enhancements, let me know and we'll put it on the roadmap.
Sure, sure. I want, excuse me, one, and I know you've got to go, but when the video, you know how videos come across kind of pixely
Yeah.
when you load them. I was wondering, I have a Dropbox account, and when I load the video from my phone to my Dropbox account, it's perfect. It doesn't come through pixely. And then from my Dropbox is when I load, if I'm going to put it on Facebook or something, is when I load it. So I wonder if when I upgrade, I'm gonna test that. I wonder if I loaded a video from my Dropbox account, if it would come through less pixely, but the program, I don't know, format or graphics might be limited on that. But interestingly, I noticed that like all videos, it's kind of pixely. So I thought, I wonder if I loaded the one from my Dropbox, maybe it won't come through.
I want to try to do let's just live try to do a video test upload and see if I can go video, see if this works.
Okay.
I don't want to record a video though. I want to. There we go. I want to go in here to, oops, it crashed on me. Well, yes.
You can stop sharing if you want to, if that will help.
Here we go. No, it shouldn't. So I'll try to do a
Okay.
live test right here. Okay, so back into here. So I'm going to delete this email. Yes, I want to delete that one. Start anew. Oops. Let's see, maybe if we get. Okay, yeah. So this shows no videos because I clicked the the photo button, not the video button. Is what I clicked. So now if I go back in here and click I'm gonna click this button, which should be the video button. Here we go. Back into here. Okay, so I need to report that to the development team. So it's crashing right now when I upload an existing video.
Okay.
Yeah. But here, let's do this test.
So the one that you had loaded from the fishing trip, you loaded that. How did you do that one? Just directly from your phone?
It wasn't crashing at the time. I just uploaded it straight from my phone. And so in this one, but I can do a video. Like I can record. So this is, this is recording right now.
Sure.
It's recording. It's recording.
Right.
Stop. And then
so
it loads up into there.
So it loads.
And then it looks it looks normal there. So it's not.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Sure. I bet it is just from loading it from an alternate source. I wonder. Anyway, I might play around with that myself. And see.
Yep. So videos, but that's good. It's interesting with live demos, and we discover our issues, so that's good.
Sure.
But I'm on a beta test version of the app. I test out the new features on it.
Oh, sure.
And so there's some kind of conflict that I'll let the developers know on this.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and I just appreciate Melissa as well. She's always so kind and helpful. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I always say that when a business can help you and make you feel like that you're the most important thing to them at those 5 minutes or something like that. That says a lot about a business. And that's the way Melissa makes me feel. You know, that she doesn't,
Melissa
she
is
might have other people waiting, but she never says, okay, I've got all these people waiting or anything like that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'll let her know she is an incredible person, and she's been with me for about 6 years now, and she's just a really, really, she's like family to me. So I appreciate that.
Sure. Okay, wonderful. Well, you have a great day, and I appreciate
You too. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.